Hey, good evening. Happy Thursday. I've got a couple of things to do tonight. Let me get a little bit cleaned up here. I wanted to start as quickly as I could so we can get on with this. As you can see, my palette's a little dirty here. All right, where are we at today? So I spent yesterday cleaning up some things. For example, I went through the beads here, and I finally got these all coated. I was about to say resined, but these are not resined. These are just with a gloss varnish. So I got to get these on some keychains. What else have I got to get done? It's in my jar over here. I have these beads that I decided needed something else here, so I've got to just drop a dot on those. I have these ones, which I still need to get varnish on, and these ones, which are only partially completed. I got one side done. I need the top dots on the colors, and then I need the opposite side. So those need done, and I have a whole package of beads that these need to be done with. And then what I thought I would actually start out with tonight, I finished these finally as well too. These ones are slowly becoming my favorite. I really like these ones because the paint's a little bit thicker and they have become a little more tactile than the other ones. So I've got several layers of paint, and the paint itself is thick, and so it's formed a little bit of a lift. Some of the dots are just slightly raised and they're rounded, and some of these other ones are kind of pointy, but because they are all varnished, even though they're raised, they're not sharp, but it's very smooth along the top here. So it's a very cool feeling to me. I really like those. So I want to make some more of these. I do have, now these are actually, these were pre-made ones, and so they're not the raw wood. These have some kind of a varnish on them. When I bought them, I bought a couple of packages of these, which I have a black, a white, and then the multicolor. And these were part of the multicolor ones. So they do have something on them. And then all of the rest of them, I actually hand painted. So, all right, so I'm gonna get another set of those done first. That's sort of where I wanted to start. And then we'll just go from there. I don't know. Like I said, I've got a ton of stuff to do. I thought, let's go ahead and just get out here. Let's get streaming. You guys can hang out with me while I just kind of wrap some of the stuff up. And if you've not seen these before, okay, if you were not part of the conversation when I originally started these, or maybe if you haven't seen some of the recent stuff, I call these my anxiety relief fidgets because I fretted a very long time about what to do, because these 4 beads fit on a bar. However, they don't fit perfectly, and I needed a spacer. I kept thinking, I really, really want to have them touch each other, be nice and solid and secure, and not move around. And then my daughter got a hold of one of them, right? So I had put the finished beads. Let me get some of the stuff on here. So I had put some of the finished beads on a bar, on a keychain bar, and I was actually sort of debating what to do with it, and my daughter got a hold of it and she started spinning them, right? And she's moving them up and down and she's rubbing the beads, and I can tell she's really enjoying it. And I asked her about it, and that kind of stopped my whole spacer search, right? Because they are really fantastic, you know. They're really nice to feel, you know. They do move very smoothly over the bar. You know, they obviously twirl. So, and that's why these last ones too, I added this second dot up on the top and made it really nice and thick, right? So it does have a point to it. Okay, so I've got my 3 colors that I'm using. I don't remember what sizes I used for this. So I'm gonna, you know, old-fashioned it here. Yeah, I think that was a 5, and I bet that's probably a 3. Yeah, maybe even a 2.5. Okay. So let's get started with this. Now this is a very, very light pink, I know, but even though it is very, very light, I've found that it kind of works. The darker colors around it do bring it out, so. I still feel like I'm going 100 miles a minute here. Work is over. Kind of settling down for the evening, and like I said, I still feel like I'm going 100 miles a minute. So pardon me. I feel like I'm talking very fast even, so. This is my calm for the day too, so I'll get there. With these, I started out with the 4 points larger. So let me take a look here. Did I start at the top? I did, okay. And I have not added any medium to my paint. It's just going to go straight on. I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna turn that around. No matter how delicate the touch, sometimes these are still gonna move, which is quite annoying, but is what it is. Let's see, what's the best way to do that? All right, so I cheated a little bit there. Have to kind of squeeze them together. But I won't be able to do that for the top and bottom portion. Still something I just haven't figured out the best way to do yet. So if I can get right up there at the top. You know, if the holes on each of these were exactly the same size, it certainly would make this easier. Is that okay? Can I blame the beads for this? I mean, seriously. I'm kind of happy my hands are as steady as they are right now. All right, so there's the top. Oops, I got some puppy dog fur in here. It's like glitter. Gets everywhere and it never comes out. And so on these, I'm not trying too hard to get a super defined petal shape, just as long as I've got a bit of a tip. Especially on these here that there's not a bunch of room. Ooh. Don't move, come back here. All right, so that's the first step. There's those. Okay, I'm gonna kind of flip back and forth between a couple of things while these dry, because I've got other things to do and other parts and pieces of them to do. So these ones I just finished last night. So I'm going to get these on a bar. And actually, you know what? Let me move my camera out just a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, some of these beads are slightly larger than the other ones that I had, so they don't move as much, but they do move, so they have that great feel to them. Okay, so I've got that. I purchased some packaging too for these. So as I'm getting them finished, I'm trying to stay on top of getting all my packaging done as well. and getting everything kind of set and ready to go, because I do not want to be last minute. Okay. And then I've got these. Now when I did these ones, I have to be a little careful because when I did these ones, I did one set of them with a larger tool than the other one. Let me see if I can pick out the smaller ones versus the larger ones, because I think that'll look kind of funny. Okay. That's a bigger one. That's a bigger one. Which is the largest of these? This one, I think. Yeah, okay. Probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So these little pink lines here that I did. It's like a half size difference, really. Okay. All right, and then once I get this done, those should be dry enough to flip over. And I'll get the other side done the same. And then I actually have a couple more skewers today. I broke down and went and got a couple more out of the pantry and got them clipped. So I can actually get some more done today. So I'm not just rotating with two of them. That sucked. That really did suck. So there's that. I wish the packages were a little more forgiving because I can stretch them, but see, a lot of times, just because these are so large, it creates a wrinkle. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. All right, so that's another 3 that are done. Okay. I do need to make sure that this one and this are lined up again a little bit so that I can put the back side on evenly. All right, where's my 5? Get my tool cleaned back off again. I did go ever slightly larger with these petal sizes because as you can see, they're gonna almost touch, and then I actually don't have to put something in the middle. I don't have to try to worry that I have a blank space somewhere. That throws me off. Having the paint up here instead of either down here or on my right side. I feel like I suddenly don't know what I'm doing. You have that moment that your brain sort of short circuits over something stupid, right? That one's actually going to touch, but doesn't look like it's going to bleed, so it is what it is. Oh, come on. Don't like it when you do that. How in the world am I gonna do this? Gosh, I don't like this. But I just hope that the paint on the other side is dry enough. I'm just checking real quick just to make sure, like I said, that none of them got messed up. This one did stick just a smidge, but you can't even tell it didn't actually hurt anything. So, all right, I'm gonna separate that maybe a little farther and hope that they stay like that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to do it even slower on these particular ones to make sure that everything is dry and so I can actually grab them. Let's get the other side here. So almost done with this side. I'll let these dry again, and then just so that I'm not putting too many colors in my palette quite yet, I'll probably work on my blue just to put in an extra dot. Then I've got to get all my rainbows done. Then I got to start on my rainbows, or more of my rainbows. All right, so far so good. No, you know what? Let me see. One second, I gotta put these things aside so that I have a little more room. Okay. See where everybody wants to fit today. Okay. Now with these, I don't care if they touch, and I can actually kind of squeeze them together to help myself. Trying to see if I might, I just don't have enough room. I guess a 5 it is. Might even be able to get away with a 6. Yeah, I can actually do a 6. Which blue did I use? I'm pretty sure it was the Ultra. Let me shake you guys up for a second. Ooh. All right, so now those need to sit and dry for a minute. The other thing I can do while I wait these ones, like I said, only one side is finished, but I do have the silver out that I used on the one side. So just take advantage of that. And I can get the top dots put here. You know what? Let's do the other side. Okay. And again, I want to make these dots nice and thick. Purposely adding just another dot here or two, just to give it a little more texture. Although it doesn't look like it, these are pretty raised. There, I like that. So that's nice. All right, so let's check back up on our purple. Okay, mostly dry. It looks like I've got one or two little spots. Let me check my sizing in here. So we're going for a 2. Yep, and I think we're okay with that. Checking all my small spaces. Okay, all right. See if this is going to work. Goodness, this is hard. You know, next time I should learn my lesson and just do these with my brush instead of the dot tools. I mean, I feel like I could get a much lighter touch. I just don't know if I have the right size for what I want to do in here. But yeah, should have thought of that before I got all into it. slid. Did you see that? E. And of course I ran out of Q-tips. Okay, hang tight. There we go. Another reason why I'm going to make sure that everything else is dry. There. Well, there's one side. Okay, I'm gonna put those to the side again real quick. Let's check on my blue. Not completely dry, but because I definitely want this to stand up, I can probably get away with this. So let's see. What size do we want that? Probably the 4, I'm thinking. Maybe 3.5. Split the difference here. I'm going to make sure I get as much paint as I can. Bring it up to a point. Okay. All right, so as soon as those are dry, that'll be another set done. What else have I got? Like I said, I have these ones, but these just need to be painted. So I don't think I'm going to do anything with that. I had started these green ones and I did not like them at all. I don't even know what happened. They look like they got mushed or something. It's that same pink. I don't know what happened with the tape on this one. All I really need is to hold it still for just a second. Nope, can't get that one on for the life of me. Okay. So what I could try, and again, this is just gonna be a little bit of a mess about here, because I don't really have any plans with these. I do have more of the green beads that came just as part of the set, but yeah, definitely didn't like these. I mean, that's not too bad. If somebody stops by and is watching this part, let me know what you think about these, because I'm on the fence. I still don't like them very much. This certainly does help adding this color, but I don't really want to continue. Put the other side on it and everything. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. If I'm not gonna like them in the end, or if somebody's not gonna like them in the end. So, you know. Like I said, if you're stopping by and you get to this point, drop a comment. Let me know if you think they're worth continuing. If this is a decent color combination or not, I don't know. Okay. This one needs to be a little bigger. It's kind of growing on me. I don't know though. All right, but I'm gonna leave those. I don't know where I'm gonna put these things. I'm slowly running out of room everywhere. That was my last rod skewer that I had to cover that. Okay. You know what? I might. I was looking at my rainbow one, and the fuchsia that I used, or magenta, sorry, that I used on this one, I might have actually used on my rainbow one. Not 100% sure, but if it is, then I can actually kind of double that process up now too, and add at least one dot to those. Okay. So you're dry enough that I can stick them together. And then I think I'll probably finish the night here with these ones. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna have to. I've got some dinner in the oven. We have been slow roasting a big old fat pork butt. Oh, been in there for, what time is it? Ooh, 12 hours. So gotta finish this up and go check on that because I'm getting hungry. My whole house smells wonderful. So once I finish with these swooshes here, I'm going to need to top dot. And that's going to be with the silver, or well, it's not silver, it's actually pearl white, but you know, whatever. So I'll top dot the larger with that, and then the center. And then with this one, I actually do not have a dot on the side, so I can skip that part, and then I'll get them varnished. There, that one needed to be bigger. Didn't realize I didn't put a ton of paint in my palette there. I'm clicking the bottom every time. All right. Oh, this one probably needs to come down a little bit more. There. Okay. All right. So I know it looks plain and boring and sort of messy right now, but I promise once it's done, it will look much better. We'll get the top dots on it, which always brings out the detail. Okay. There is that. Okay. So let me cat. What did I get done? Okay, so I've got, this is the same one as that one. I've got those two packaged up. I finished that one. This blue one is ready to be painted. The purple ones are ready to be painted. Oh yeah. Yep, so I've got one side done of the rainbow. And last but not least, these are the ones that I did not like, but I'm going to try anyways. If you like that design, let me know, please. Drop a comment. Otherwise, I might ditch them. But we're all set. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I know it's a very short stream, less than an hour tonight, go figure. But again, you know, just trying to squeeze in a little bit of work. Thanks for hanging out, joining me while I just kind of pitter around and get some things ready here and there. I certainly do appreciate it. And as always, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure that you're subscribed. Check back for some more live. I'm trying to do the live content at least once a week here, usually Thursday nights about this time. And then otherwise I've got another video or two and a short coming out real soon. Okay, but thank you guys. I certainly do appreciate it. You take care, enjoy your evening, and happy dotting.